Hello, and welcome to 6DOF Reviews. I am Pete Austin, and today I am going to be reviewing Gambit. I will be giving it a score. The spoiler alert for you is that score is not a good one. I'm giving it a bad score, and it has earned it. I'm going to be giving you my candid thoughts off the cuff as we proceed through this. So the first thing I will say is that Gambit is a fitting title for this game because developers XREAL have taken a real gamble on some of their early PR promotional materials that they've put out for this game. What I mean by that is, everywhere you look, XREAL have promoted this as a 20-plus hour campaign. And what they actually meant to say is, one day we hope it will get to the point where it is a 20-hour campaign. What we are selling you today now for full price is a 4-hour campaign with a roadmap. Yay, with a roadmap. You can't see it, there's no timelines, and we're not going to tell you what content we're going to give you, but just trust us, it's going to be 20 hours. No thank you, XREAL. That is some shady shit right there, and if that's where this industry goes, I think we're all going to be in a lot of trouble, and I think it's very important to stand up right now and say no, bad, naughty, rolled up newspaper, smack on the nose for you, XREAL. That's not how you do stuff. That aside, I'd like to move on to actually talking about the game, because I'm not scoring it down on the fact that their marketing department sucks. Anyway, so Gambit is, at its core, a 4-player looter-shooter. The idea being that you're given these levels, you go through them the first time around with your basic weaponry, but you get cash, you unlock more stuff, you find hidden stuff, you play again and again, and the more times you play it, the more stuff you get to make it more fun the next time. It's a style of gameplay that works really well when done correctly. After the Fall, I'm looking at you. Very elegantly executed in After the Fall. Gambit has not elegantly executed this at all. The reason for this being that, unfortunately, the actual gameplay is not fun. It is a monotonous, repetitive, rinse and repeat. There's very little enjoyment to be had. Every single one of the missions is a wave shooter, and you just do a wave shooter in a slightly different environment with slightly different enemies. And that's it. That's the whole game. It is disappointingly vapid, I would say. It's shallow on every element. And I would love to be able to say, if they had have just done this, if they had have just done that, it could have been a little bit better. The gameplay is like someone who doesn't really play games came up with a checklist of all the things that gamers like. And then they put them all in there, but nobody played it. Nobody played it and went, ooh, this is fun, or rather, this is not fun. What should we do? So there's 3 levels that you will come across in the campaign. Each is broken up into a series of checkpoints. You can buy extra lives. You have 3 lives. Essentially, there's no stakes. There's no consequences. Even if you die, you can just restart from the previous checkpoint, which means that you just don't have to take it seriously. You can just run into the middle of the battle and shoot a couple of people, and if you die, you go, oh well, who cares? I'll pick it up from the last checkpoint. It's robbed of all tension. It's robbed of all impetus to be cautious. It's robbed of all joy. There are 4 distinct characters that you can play. Each has their own unique and special weapon, which was one of the things that I was initially quite excited about. Unfortunately, I don't feel that these unique special weapons really add too much to the gameplay. I hardly used mine. I tried all of the characters. There was just no real reason to use them. Once you unlock some halfway decent guns, like the shotgun or the first assault rifle, that's better than your special weapon. So you may as well just hide behind cover and shoot guys with that instead. So once you figure that out, it robs it of that unique selling point, and once again we're back to the fact that it's a very simple, repetitive wave shooter in sheep's clothing. There's lots of content, there's lots of things ostensibly that you could do. There's cool stuff like getting a spray can and you can go up onto a wall and graph a piece, and I'll be quite honest, that was my favorite part of the game. And what will probably be the biggest success story of Gambit is that it has made me buy King Spray. So well done to you. Graphically, It's a bit muddy. I really think that it lacks a clear art direction. There are some bits that look a bit cartoony, but there are some bits where they seem to be going for some level of realism. There are some bits that look like it's the PS2, and some bits that look like a halfway decent Quest game. It's just a bit muddled, and it doesn't have a clear visual identity. Perhaps this is a personal opinion, but this is one of those games that absolutely would have benefited from the very popular cel-shaded art style. If they had have made it quite comic booky in-game as well as in their cutscenes, I think it really would have fit the tone of the game really, really nicely, and it would have come across a bit more coherent and cohesive. From an audio perspective, it is satisfactory. The audio is probably one of the better components of the game. But again, when you've played other games, like the spatial audio exists. That's about the best I can give you on that. But having played Breaches recently, where the spatial audio is outstanding, it is the stuff of survival in that game, then you come over to Gambit, and this is not that. And, you know, unfortunately, not every game can be a masterpiece. There are points where there's just no music, and it's a very strange choice. In multiplayer, it was just dead silence. And again, it robbed the game from action and energy and excitement and just made it feel stale, which was, really, really disheartening. The gun effects are a bit of a mixed bag. There's a couple of guns that sound really, really good, like the shotgun and the assault rifle. I was very happy shooting them, and they went boom, and I went whoo, and it was very good. Then there's like a Magnum-style handgun, like a Desert Eagle-style handgun, and it just sounds hollow and empty. There are some effects that work really well, and there are other effects that just sound so bad, and they distract. They take away more from the game than the good effects give to the game. What I will say is the voice acting is actually really, really good. The scripting is terrible, don't get me wrong. It is infantile. It is swearing for the sake of swearing. It is the sort of edginess that 13-year-olds would love, and I can absolutely imagine that there is, not to gender profile people, but there's probably 13 and 14-year-old boys that have played through this and been like, yeah. I'm not one of them. I think the actors did a really great job with what they had. I was really impressed with the whole thing from that angle. The scripting was, really terrible. So the other thing that's worth talking about here, and I think this is really important if you are making the decision to play this game, is multiplayer. Now, there are a number of multiplayer modes that are all the same thing. So you go into one of the levels. These are the exact same levels that you've already played when you did the single player campaign, and 4 of you go in, or there are 4 players in there, and you can do deathmatch. You get 2 minutes and you get as many kills as you can, or you get municipal mayhem, which is you get 1 life, last person standing, 2-minute timer, go. I'm sure that there's probably some fun to be had there, but, and this is a very big but, I tried 4 times to get into a multiplayer game. I did not try at random stupid times. I tried at peak times. I tried at 4 p.m. when the kids had just come out of school. I tried at 7 o'clock. I tried on the weekend. I tried at 9 o'clock. I even stayed up late and waited for the Americans to get home. Hi, Americans. We did not one time find a single other player. Now, Omar and I were able to get together in a game, so we know that it's functional. We checked the version, and we made sure that we were not stuck on a press version. There was literally no one playing this game. So I think that's something to think about, because the game's only been out for 6 days, 5 days, something like that. If you're looking to buy this game because you like the looter-shooter genre because of its replayability, be careful. It's not terribly replayable because the main core gameplay isn't fun. If you're looking to buy the game because it's got multiplayer and multiplayer is cool, be careful. There's no one playing this game. If these are the 2 reasons why you want to buy Gambit, you will probably find yourself quite disappointed by the end of it. So please, I just urge some caution around making that decision. Go in with your eyes wide open. So in conclusion, I did not enjoy Gambit. There are probably worse games, but it's a looter shooter. You can do that better. After the Fall, go grab that. There's multiplayer shooter. You know what? There's countless better options. I'm going to say Breaches, even though it's quite different, and it's amazing. There's just nothing that Gambit did that it did better than anything else. So it becomes incredibly hard to recommend. So I'm going to summate with the following line: 4. Incompetent. If you have enjoyed this review, and I thank you for your patience, if you have enjoyed this review and would like to stay up to date with all the news, reviews, and occasional interview, click the subscribe button now. I can guarantee you that clicking that button will be more rewarding than playing Gambit. If you would like to take pity on me, because I spent too much time playing this fucking game, hit the like button. That'll make me feel nice. That'll make me feel like my time was justified. So you can do that for me. And if you want to know all about other multiplayer shooters, perhaps click the link over here. Or if you are interested in seeing a review for another multiplayer shooter, perhaps click here for our review of After the Fall. Multiplayer, looter shooter, zombies, done nice.